For the 100% cheapest coins on the internet with reliable delivery and quick customer support, check out my sponsor MMOEXP by clicking the link at the top of the description and use code SWIFT at checkout for 5% off. Salsals and family, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another Madden video on the channel, and in today's video we're going to talk about the best version of Madden you should be buying. Now in the video we're going to be comparing the prices and benefits of the regular, the MVP, and the Dynasty Edition to make sure that you're getting the best game to suit how you like to play Madden. Now if you enjoyed the video here today, I'm going to drop a bunch of other content, leaking some information for Madden 22, whether that be MUT, whether that be gameplay. You will see it on the channel, so hit that subscribe button if you're new and leave a like down below if this helps you out. 400 likes, can we do it? Alright, so let's get into the video, boys, and the first thing that I want to quickly do is go over these price points, talk about the differences between each game, and then we're going to get into the benefits for the regular, the MVP, and the Dynasty Edition. Now, if you guys didn't know, I'm in Canadian dollars. I believe everything is just $10 cheaper if you guys get it in USD, which is probably what most of you guys are going to be doing, but I do live in Canada, and let's get into prices, boys. Now, the main thing that we're going to be comparing is we're going to compare the difference between each of the editions. So, going from the regular edition to the MVP edition is definitely the most expensive change. That is going to cost you $40. Obviously there's a lot more rewards on the MVP edition, we'll talk about that in a second, and then going from MVP to Dynasty, that is only $20. So those are kind of the main things we want to look at. It's called marginal cost. I learned it in economics, and again, unfortunately my university degree, it is going to Madden videos, but the marginal cost is $40 for MVP and $20 for the Dynasty edition. So here are the differences and kind of the rewards or additions that you're going to get by buying each version of the game. As you can see, the regular edition is on the left column, the MVP edition is in the middle, and the Dynasty Edition is on the right. And essentially what I'm going to compare right here is I'm comparing the marginal cost. I'm going to see whether upgrading from Madden to Madden 22 MVP Edition is worth $40. So whether those rewards are worth $40, and then we're going to see if those final rewards are worth an additional $20. So I think the first thing we need to do is we need to find the baseline. We need to see what you get in the regular version of Madden, and then talk about what we're going to get if we upgrade to the MVP Edition. So starting it off in MUT, you're going to get yourself 1 out of 32 NFL stars. I believe that's kind of just like a preliminary player to get your team started off with. You're going to get a Tom Brady gear capsule. I'm assuming that this is going to be for the yard, just based on how that animation looks on the left of it. It looks like that's something you can use in the yard. So if you like the yard, obviously that's something for you, but literally any version of the game is going to get you that. You also get the general player class starting at level 10. I have no clue what that's talking about, and you get some franchise staff points. Okay, so now we know the baseline, and let's see the difference from the regular version of Madden to the MVP edition. Now the first thing you're going to do is you are getting 3-day early access. Obviously with EA Play you can play a week early, but on EA Play you only get 10 hours of playtime, so you get the full version of the game 3 days early, no more restrictions. How much is that worth to you? We'll talk about that a little bit later. You also get dual entitlement. Now this could be very, very important. Dual entitlement is going to mean that you can switch between the PS4 version and the PS5 version of Madden. So two examples where this could be important is firstly just talking about gameplay. As you guys know, the gameplay on the PS4 version right now compared to PS5 and Madden 21 is drastically better. Now I have no clue whether the gameplay is going to be different on one console or one generation, than the other, but if that is the case, dual entitlement could be very important because you're going to want to play the game that is the most fun. Right now, if I could only play the PS5 game, I would be a little bit upset because the PS4 game is infinitely better, so that could be relatively important. And then if you're actually planning on getting a new console and upgrading from PS4 to PS5, then dual entitlement is going to be very important as well. Now, final thing to mention, also if you're planning on playing with your friends and maybe you want to start a franchise league, or you're planning on just playing your friends in MUT, and some people have PS4, some people have PS5, then dual entitlement can allow you to play both versions of the game. So those are kind of the 3 reasons why dual entitlement could be important. Again, once we go through all these, I'll talk about whether each of these is important and worth that $40. Now next up, you're also going to get yourself 60 franchise points, so the difference is 40. Again, I don't really know how franchise points are going to work in franchise mode. I'm assuming you can earn them, and I feel like for franchise mode the benefits aren't that great from MVP edition, but again, we'll talk about this all once we go through this list. And then moving down, those 3 things you get in Madden 22 you also get in the MVP edition. Again, we're talking about the marginal benefit that you get from buying this new game, so those don't really matter. And then moving right along, you get an elite item, so a choice of Brady or Mahomes. I'm assuming that's probably like an 85 or like an 84 overall not quarterback to get started with. I don't know how important that could be. You get exclusive challenges. These were actually solid if I remember correctly, some solo challenges that you could only play for the first 3 days, and and they gave you decent rewards. And then probably the best part about this, and the best part about the MVP edition, are the team fantasy packs. You get 11 of these, which is pretty solid value. Okay, so now let's talk about if this is worth it. We're dividing it up into 3 categories. We're saying franchise mode, we're saying casuals, and then we are saying MUT hardcore players. Starting it off with franchise mode, if you prefer to play franchise, the only reason why this should be worth it for you is dual entitlement. If you think that's important for you and you want to make sure you can either start a franchise with friends on PS4 or PS5, or you're looking to hop between generations on the Xbox, then that is going to be an important aspect for you. And if you need that, get this version of the game. If you don't think that's important and you play franchise mode, there's no real reason to get the MVP edition. Again, you're going to get a bit more staff points. I don't think that's that important, and I think you can actually earn those as you go through the game. And 3-day early access, I mean, in franchise mode, unlike MUT, a couple of days can really help you get a head start on your team. In franchise mode, I feel like that's probably less important, especially if you're playing a franchise with all your friends. You can't really advance once everyone is ready, so if there's people that don't have early access, that won't help you a ton. Next up, we're talking about the casual MUT players right here, guys, and for the casual MUT players, I don't know that this is worth it. $40 is actually really expensive when you compare the price of the regular game. It's like 1.5 times the regular version, so you're paying a lot right here to just play 3 days early, get dual entitlement, and get some solid free players. Now, if you're pretty casual and you don't do all those solo challenges right when they pop up in the game, maybe your team is a little bit behind kind of what the average team overall is, I don't think this is as important for you, so I would probably stick with the regular version. But now, if you're a more hardcore MUT player, and I would say you like to play the game, and particularly you're kind of like a hardcore no money spent player that grinds through the game and does your solo challenges, which I think a lot of people are on this channel, I think this MVP version is kind of the perfect version for you to get. I remember I didn't get MVP and I had to wait 3 days. I was seeing on Twitter that everyone was playing the game, having so much fun and so far ahead of me, and I was bummed out. That 3 days is actually going to be really important right there. So if you're a no money spent player and you're more of a solo challenge grinder no money spent player, you like to play the game a lot, I would say this is a really good version for you. You also get some packs, you get dual entitlement, which is nice as well. And then moving on to Dynasty Edition right here, we're going to quickly talk about that. All you're really getting on the Dynasty Edition is you're getting 11 more team fantasy packs, and you're going to be getting a curated legend pack, which is going to give you Brady or Mahomes, and then 2 legends that are elites on offense and defense. Now, this costs you $20, and I would say this Dynasty Edition is good for someone that likes to spend a lot of money on the game. If you're buying packs and you're not a no money spent player, maybe you spend like at least $100 to $150 on the game, $20 for those team fantasy packs and the curated legend packs, that is a good deal. So if you're planning on spending money on the game and you're planning on buying packs and spending money on points, you're actually getting better value by buying this more expensive version and spending the $20, because those team fantasy packs, if you were to buy 11 of them in the store, I guarantee you it's costing you more than $20, as well as that legend pack that you get as well. So those are kind of the way we divided the video up, but hopefully that all made sense in the video. Let's divide up each tier, talk about what type of players should be buying each one. So starting it off with just the base version of Madden 22, if you are a franchise player that does not need dual entitlement, I think that is the move. As well, if you're a MUT player and you're a more casual MUT player, you're maybe not going through your solos as fast, you don't spend any money on the game, then that Madden 22 regular version is going to be fine for you. Again, dual entitlement, it could be an issue. If that is a thing that you need, then you're going to have to move your way up from the regular edition to the MVP. But if you're in one of those 2 categories and you don't need dual entitlement, then the regular version is fine for you. Now, the MVP edition is probably what I'm going to be getting, and I think it's a good way to go. If you are more of a grinder, you don't spend much money on the game, it is going to be worth it for you to go with the MVP. You get the early access, you get some free packs, as well as some other MUT rewards. So if you're in that situation where you're a more committed player to the game, obviously like myself, obviously like a lot of people that watch this channel, I like the MVP edition for the extra $40. And then if you like to spend money on the game and you're planning on spending money in MUT, maybe day 1, maybe week 1, you're getting really good value with the Dynasty Edition. I know it seems really expensive, but we need to think about the marginal cost right here. So that's gonna do it for me. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you fit into one of those categories and you end up getting the version of the game that works for you. And until next time, I am out. Peace.